Well, Jodan Sancho to Juventus is gaining momentum. The story was broken like 2 days back and I haven't gone here to be able to drop anything about it, but I'm here to drop something about it and hope you guys are really having fun. And we're here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is concerned. Strictly Man United. The day is today. We are taking on Brighton. It's the early Kickstarter, and an hour to the game will obviously open up with what we call the match day live, and we'll be letting you know who is in and who is out. And I think in the early morning video I'm really gonna bring you what United trained like. You understand what United training was like towards this encounter as they prepared to obviously take on the side of Brighton. So let's obviously delve deep into what people have gone here to say about it. Fabrizio Romano, Alfredo Pedula, Laurie Whitwell, United correspondent for The Athletic, and very many others, they've gone here to say huge stuff about Jodan Sancho. Looks like the door of Jodan Sancho out of Manchester United is hugely open. That is it. It's open to an extent that now very many teams have gone ahead to show interest in him, and United have gone ahead to show interest in signing the player. Barcelona, Juventus, and the side called PSG. All those sides are really showing intent to sign Jodan Sancho. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barak Laufik. Mondays obviously get off into the mix. Now, today, Juventus asked about Jodan Sancho's latest situation, who is the center of many rumors, but for the moment still at Manchester United there is still a glimmer of hope, even if in these hours there are other priorities. Now, the story that we're obviously coming in through to obviously see to it that we bring you the latest news and information about this is coming in through from Alfredo Pedula. If you're a United fan, you know how credible Alfredo Pedula was last season when it came to signings we are going to make from Italy. That is Amrabat and Rasmus Højlund. We brought in new players, 2 players from Italy, and Alfredo Pedula was really at the center stage of really breaking stories that this guy, all these 2 players are really coming close to Manchester United, and he was really very accurate when it came to that. This time around, he was the man that broke the story that on, I think it was Wednesday, Manchester United went ahead to ask about the situation of Jodan Sancho, and it was really confirmed by other outlets, meaning that there was a glimmer of hope, and that's why other people went ahead to obviously do the needful. And he told us that in the coming hours, there are other priorities Juventus is looking at. Then Fabrizio Romano confirmed us that Juventus are pushing for Jodan Sancho. They are in contact with his camp and Manchester United. The big salary of Jodan Sancho is an issue, but talks ongoing. Situation remains open as always. Now, this is where I'm going to get to know whether Sancho is really in to get this done and dusted, or he's really in to not really get us going. Because I've already told you that a club like Manchester United has a lot to do with people. You understand? They have a lot to do with the salaries they've gone ahead to obviously give these other players. And I tell you what, Manchester United has offered Jodan Sancho a minimum of £250,000 a week, and other rumors indicate that the salary is like £300,000 a week that United went ahead to give to Jodan Sancho. You understand? So, if there is anything that is yet not to happen, it's all about Sancho. Sorry, it's all about Manchester United. If any club comes out and says that we are not taking Sancho because of his salary, then it will be Manchester United to blame. But even for Jodan Sancho, I think he should do what Matthias De Ligt went ahead to do. Matthias De Ligt took a pay cut because he wanted to come in through and really play football at the club of Manchester United. And I think Sancho, at the age of 24, he needs to obviously understand that there are other teams that have gone ahead to obviously show huge intent in him. And if at all he wants to play football, he should surrender that huge salary and really say, all right, let me take a pay cut of like maybe £80,000, and I go to like 18 to 170,000 or 180,000 pounds, then the rest will be history. You understand? Because you have to come up and really understand the situation in which you are into as a player. You understand? And understanding that will obviously help you really know where you're supposed to be playing, because he's on the law, and I think his dream would be playing for the England national team at the World Cup of 2026. And he needs to obviously leave Manchester United, because all signs at United indicate that there is no way he's going to be into the starting 11. And at Juventus, Thiago Motta is very, very wanting to obviously see to it that this man comes in through to put in the required people together to see to it that all goes on as planned. Then we are having La Stampa. Juventus are considering taking Jodan Sancho on loan with an option to buy, as Englishman isn't getting any time at Manchester United. And this is where United will obviously say not really, because they want money. They want money in, and they believe that Juventus can really sanction this deal, and obviously they start paying off the money, because the money that they're going to pay in for a loan fee for the man of Jodan Sancho, all enough can start facilitating the transfer of this young man to Juventus. Because I tell you, United for a long season loan, they'll call in for like 10 million euros. And if you're going to be paying like 60 million euros, or 50, let's say 50 million euros for Jodan Sancho, why not agree on a permanent deal and obviously pay that 10 million euros, and then for the coming years will obviously be needful, because United are like, we need money right now, and they want to say to it that Jodan Sancho leaves because he's really earning huge salaries. And you know why Casemiro really left? Because you know why Casemiro really never went? Because the plan at Manchester United has always been, one, the plan has been as follows: take off players with hefty salaries, especially if at all they're not really performing. Rafael Varane, he was performing but was an injury-prone player, he was out. Martial, injury-prone, out, he was at £250,000. Rafael Varane was earning £330,000. Then when you look at Sancho, £250,000, not getting the first team of Manchester United, that is a signal that they should obviously take him off. And Manchester United is working tooth and nail to obviously show this guy the exit door. That is the man called Jodan Sancho. And we all know to it that Sancho has to obviously go ahead and really go in for a pay cut, because Juventus won't pay that half salary, because it's a team that has been really going through what we call financial constrictions. It's one of those teams that is going to obviously go through what we call financial constrictions, and nothing is really going to stop Juventus from moving on to another player if at all Sancho doesn't really take a pay cut into the mix. Then we are having Fab Della Valle. Juventus are hoping to use money from the sale of Federico Chiesa to try to find a solution to bring Jodan Sancho to Turin. Juventus could make an offer of an expensive loan with a buy clause attached, and the rest of the Chiesa money used towards Sancho's high salary. Now, I believe Sancho will obviously light up the Serie A. I tell you, he'll light up the Serie A, because he's a player who is talented, but he needs a fresh start. And at Juventus, he's going to be playing the Champions League, and everyone is going to be seeing how good this player is. And remember, recently played in the Champions League with the side of Dortmund, where they lost to Real Madrid by 2-0. No one doubts the talent of this player. No one doubts the talent of Jodan Sancho, because Sancho is really a gem, and all he needs is a manager who can obviously hold him better to reach his potential. And I tell you, Sancho going to Juventus will be a move that will get his journey back to where it deserves to be. And I tell you, you can even win a Ballon d'Or when he's at Juventus, because Thiago Motta is going to have to build up a squad that can really win the Champions League in the next 2-3 years to come, and they will be doing the due diligence to move on to the next level. That is it. So after that, we are having a RMC Sport on Thursday. Juventus made a move for Jodan Sancho. The Bianconeri club are negotiating with Manchester United, but it's up to the player to decide whether or not he wants to join the Bianconeri. I tell you, he has to be wanting to join the Bianconeri. There is no space for him at Manchester United, because on the left it's Garnacho, Rashford, on the right it's Amadi Diallo in the first starting 11 for the club of Manchester United. And we saw that video when Garnacho scored a goal in the Community Shield, as Erik ten Hag was looking for someone to celebrate with after Garnacho went ahead to obviously score that goal. And when he really turned like this to try to send a hug to a person close to him, he noticed that it was Jodan Sancho and was like, he cooled down and really went ahead to fold his hands. Yet his hands were really welcomingly open, but when he really noticed that it was Sancho to celebrate with, Ten Hag even changed the look on his face, meaning that a lot is not okay in between Ten Hag and Jodan Sancho, and it's known. That's why United is really pushing to sell the player. And I think there was a common ground that Sancho apologized to Erik ten Hag, get back to training, let's get everything back to normal. After getting everything back to normal, we are going to really sell you, and you're not going to be here at the club of Manchester United. I think that was what the club came to as an agreement. That's why United are not really so much bothered on him being here, because they know he has to be sold and he has to be shown what we call the exit door as a player for the club of Manchester United, and the Juventus are really pushing hard. So selling off Federico Chiesa, because they want close to 25 million euros, and I think they can use that amount of money to obviously get in Jodan Sancho. And I think Sancho is a better player than Chiesa. That is it. You get? And at Juventus, he'll fit in like a glove. He's not an injury-prone player like Chiesa, and a lot will happen to do on well, because Juventus needs a Sancho-like player, you know? And I believe he can be the magic. He can be that kind of player, or the star boy, the poster boy of Juventus, because he's loved, because of his looks, and he's really going to make records down in Italy, as he's really great at really taking on players. Anything that you want your player to be having, this guy has it, and he might be given his chance of always wanting to play off the right. Remember, he's this kind of player that has always gone ahead and want to play off the right. You understand? As a player, that is Jodan Sancho to Juventus. So let's wait and see how Federico Chiesa finds his move out, to see to it that everything really moves on as to plan. So that's what we had for you on Jodan Sancho. Go into the comment section and tell me, should United let Jodan Sancho go, or they should keep him in here? And how much do you think United should charge, or they should go in Felhon with an obligation to buy? Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are having fun. Good morning. Let's wait for the other story coming in through. I think around 2-3 hours from now, we are going to be coming up with the story of other players. I think how United prepared for the game of Brighton is really going to be the story that is going to be coming up in here. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, we thank Allah for the gift of life. And bye-bye for now. See you later.